So we're down to a key decision day in Europe as the central bank is set to announce stimulus and rate decisions in the next few minutes. Now, Volkswagen's top U.S. executive steps down nearly 6 months after the German automaker admitted to installing software to cheat on emissions. And here on the continent, we look at the latest Exotic Partners report on Frontier Africa. We welcome our viewers here in Nigeria and around the world. We thank you for joining us on the program this Thursday, the 10th of March. I am Bosin Mafaye. We're live to you from Channels Global headquarters in Lagos, Nigeria. Let's get started. In the next 15 minutes, Mario Draghi, the president of the European Central Bank, is expected to announce further measures to stimulate the Eurozone economy when his governing council concludes its meeting. Inflation has continued to fall within the Eurozone, putting more pressures on the ECB to take action. The annual rate of inflation now stands at minus 0.2%, even further below the bank's target of just under 2%. The ECB is widely expected to cut the deposit rate for funds from commercial banks even further into negative territory. A move by Mario Draghi is intended to encourage banks to lend more money and boost economic activity in the Eurozone. That's the story within the hour. Now, Volkswagen's top U.S. executive has stepped down nearly 6 months after the German automaker admitted to installing software to allow 580,000 diesel U.S. vehicles to emit excess emissions. The company says Michael Hahn, who has been president and chief executive of Volkswagen of America since 2014, is living by mutual agreement. The German automaker said on an interim basis, Heinrich Vorbecken, who was recently named the new head of the North American region and chairman of Volkswagen Group of America, will assume Hahn's position. Hahn's departure comes as VW continues to negotiate with California, the Justice Department, and the Environmental Protection Agency on possible fixes for buybacks for the diesel vehicles. VW faces a March 24 deadline to tell a federal judge in the U.S. whether it has an acceptable fix for the problems. We're back to it. 1 year after the European Central Bank starts a stimulus program, the quantitative easing is now on the focus. We're down to the final hours we speak with Mario Draghi, the president of the ECB, expected to make an announcement 1:45 p.m. and within 45 minutes, about 2:30 Nigerian time, we expect a press briefing to take place to tell the world, and not just Europeans, where the region is moving next. Let's cross over the big story for the big day. Olaf Krieger, who is DWTV financial correspondent for Channels Television, is live to us now from the Frankfurt Stock Exchange. Olaf, a very big day for all of you there in Europe and has been keenly watched around the world as well. Let's start with this. Any idea what's on ECB's menu list as we await Mario Draghi's press briefing within the hour?
Well, everyone here in Frankfurt is pretty much convinced that Mario Draghi is going to act. The president of the European Central Bank is going to put more money into the markets and into the economies in the Eurozone. That much is pretty much sure, as I can say, because Mario Draghi has said better acting too soon than acting too late. The question is, when is too soon? When is too late? But the ECB is still something like a pacemaker for the markets and for the economies. And yeah, there's only obviously one person who can boost the market out of the crisis, and it's still Mario Draghi, the president of the European Central Bank.
Now, you've tried to give us some understanding to understand what the ECB will do, but let's be specific about the Europe's financial system. In particular, the banks as the transmission engine or the transmission mechanism of the stimulus or quantitative easing program. Let's talk about the banks. Whatever the decision today, how will the bank in Europe take Mario Draghi's decision?
Well, there are some radical ideas for the banking system in the Eurozone, that much is for sure, and that takes the bank, that puts more pressure on the banks all over the Eurozone, because I think the target of Mario Draghi still is that the banks are going to get the money into the economy, to boost the economy and to help the companies to invest and to reorganize the economy in the Eurozone, because until now on the money, it doesn't work that much, and the effect is not that strong because there is a lot of money on the sideline, but the economies are still weak. So I think that means a lot of pressure for the banks in the Eurozone.
Yeah, I'm looking at the markets right now, and I'm sure you have a bigger picture of the European markets. Looking at the Frankfurt Stock Exchange index just there behind you there, the chart heading north. Does it look like the markets in Europe has already priced in whatever ECB's Mario Draghi's to do or not to do list? Has the market priced that in? Looks like the market is heading north ahead of the next few minutes when the ECB's announcement will take place.
I think it's already priced in, because everything else, any other decision of the ECB would be a huge surprise for the market, and for some reason a disaster for the markets, because it would be very disappointing if Mario Draghi said, okay, I do nothing. So everyone is expecting that Mario Draghi is taking action in this matter, and so yeah, we can say this whole thing is already priced in here in Frankfurt.
Okay, if it's priced in, let's just sit back and watch. We got a few more minutes. I'll join you guys at the top of the hour. The press briefing is about 45 minutes after 1:45. Thank you very much, Olaf. We'll continue the conversation on Monday, whatever happens. I love Krieger, the GWTV head senior business editor at Frankfurt 4 Channels Television. Let's come back. The Bureau of Statistics Nigeria's released the GDP growth rate for the fourth quarter. There's a lot more to talk about the sovereign default risk across frontier markets, Nigeria, Ghana, Mozambique in focus. Alan Cameron is joining us from London, Exotic Carpet Partners chief economist. He'll be live to us on Skype. We'll talk about a possible recession, Nigeria's slowdown or recession. Part of the questions to Alan when we come back.